So, firstly, just how's the feeling in the squad at the minute?
Well, we've been a few of the lads have been on recovery, and a few of the lads have trained, and genuinely every time when I'm not, obviously I wasn't one of the players who trained, so I will speak to a few of the players about how I was training, general just normally, and to be fair, apparently it was a very good training session, which is positive really. With football, it's an emotional sport, and you'll have highs and you'll have lows. So it was kind of positive to hear that training went well, and that's a good thing. And we've got to move forward. We've got to move forward to the next game because it's so, we're talking in 2 days we'll be playing again. So yeah, that was positive to hear as a player who didn't train today. It was good to hear that training was lively, getting people back. That's good for competition, and that's what we need for these last 11 games. We need everybody to drive in the same direction, and competition is going to help that. So I was actually positive on that. To be fair, buzzing.
Is that a case of managing your workload as well? With not training,
No, it's not that I didn't train. I still did some work in the gym. Still did some a cardio session. But if you imagine, every team you'll play games. It's a 3-game week, isn't it? So it's play a game, recovery, train. It's not just literally physical as well. There's a mental element to it as well, taking on all that information. There would have been loads. It's managed by the medical team in how much loads specific players do and so forth. So to take everything into consideration, it certainly wasn't a day off. But it's doing the right thing for the right players, so that they are all individualised but ready for the next task at hand, which is Blackpool. That's it. Yeah.
You talk about that kind of emotional side. What's your downtime? What do you do when you're not here? What do you do to relax?
I think a lot. No, listen. Football's always been my life from as long as I can remember as a kid. I manage myself a lot better now than I did obviously when I was a kid. So obviously after a loss, and if it is a heavy loss, it can take its toll on you. But I've watched the game back in full. I've watched my clips back in full, and you've got to analyse it quickly and see where we didn't do so well and what we did actually do well. It's easy to just look at a scoreline and think, oh, bloody hell, we're terrible footballers. The reality is, when you have a good game, and you think as a player, you actually think that, I'm the stuff. I'm that guy. It really isn't that. When you watch it back, you probably just did okay. You've done your job, maybe got the result, and it's the same the opposite way. It's sometimes when you think that, I've had a bad game and it's don't really want to watch, and you watch it back, you probably haven't done as bad as what you think. So it's very important to stay consistent, or like level-headed, and obviously I'm a lot better at that as a senior player than I was when I was a younger player. But in terms of your question, because I can ramble on, there's a lot of things that I'm doing. Obviously, I've just applied to do my UEFA A. I'm a person of development. I like to do things, keep my doors open. Got 1 or 2 business ventures, which I do a little bits and bobs with. But like I said, football's my life, so I've got a few things that are related with sports, and like I said, I'm about development, so that's my next step. If I can get onto the UEFA A course, I know one of the lads have already done that. I don't think it minds me saying Tom Flanagan. He's already achieved that as one of the seniors. There's a few lads have already done their UEFA B. And it's not even a case of me wanting to be a coach or manager. Just when you keep your doors open, football comes to an end in terms of playing career. It's a young man's sport. I'm young at heart, if you know me, and I'm going to continue to do everything I can to prolong that playing career. But at the same time, like the top players like Messi, Ronaldo, and all the superstars, it always comes to an end. And then the new crop come along. So listen, I'm a man of football, and yeah, like that's the next venture, you know, going in and trying to improve myself. And it might not just be coaching, it might be a director's course next, it might be something else, it might be anything. I'm a man of learning, I like to learn, so yeah. No, he's listening in because he wants to know how I present myself.
Tips.
Of course,
Yeah.
that's my nephew. That is. You don't know if that is Danudo. So yeah, it's my nephew, man. It's my nephew. Yeah.
Obviously, coming up, you know, this is your first season as captain here.
Yeah.
You spoke about how you've developed as you've got older, learning how to manage yourself. Do you know, share that with the younger players?
I think so. I'd like to think so. Some.
When you scored 7 goals at Giddy.
Yeah, he's one of my favourites. No, I think I try and share my knowledge. It's all right trying to share knowledge, but obviously it's up to the player if they want to take that on as well. I always think that there's probably like 5, 6, maybe 7 players that I can influence, but I always go to some of the other senior players because it's not just me as a captain. Before myself, we had Luke Leahy. It wasn't just Luke Leahy as a captain. There was 5, 6 players in there that have those attributes and lead in different ways. So I might influence 5 or 6 players, and I know who those 5 or 6 players are. I won't say their names, and I'll be able to probably influence them. But it might mean that Tom Flanagan or Elliot Bennett, or even as young as Morgan Feeney. Feeney's a captain in his own right. He was a captain at his previous club. So it's not just to do with age. Sometimes you can be a captain when you're 19 or 20, or you're captain beyond your years. Those people will be able to influence other people. Some of them might be the same players, but they might be able to get their message and their experience across better than I do. So definitely try and share my experience. Because at one stage I've got the baton now, and I might be passing that on to a young centre half. It might not necessarily be my position, but in Jason or Joe Anderson. So that happened to me. I was, believe it or not, I was 20, 21 at one stage, and I had senior players who were ahead of me, and they were good with me. And I'd like to think that those lessons that I had when I was 20, 21, I'm doing the same thing, and I'm an advocate of that. So I try and share my experience, definitely, and I'm a talkable person. I talk a lot. I talk a lot, so hopefully they don't go to sleep when I do give them vital information here and there.
I wanted to ask you about Aaron Pierre. Paul Hurst has just told us, obviously, disappointing news that he's going to be out for the rest of the season. Someone you've developed a strong centre-half partnership with. Just what your thoughts, and obviously disappointing news for him.
So with AP, listen, he's a good lad, and I actually spoke to him just before I went to the Shrewsbury Club to do a part of my recovery, and I said, listen, I've had a serious injury in terms of breaking my leg, and whatever I was going to say to him, it might be hard to take in. Everyone's probably trying to get round him, and sometimes it's hard to say, it's going to be all right and so forth. But it is a big loss for us because we need everybody fit, even the younger lads. So AP's come in and he's done well. He's played games, and the games that he has played, he's done well. And I said that to him, and hopefully for him, he has a time to kind of reflect. Also, I told you already that it is not just quite physical, but also it's mentally challenging as well to be a professional footballer. So it gives him time to kind of reflect and not relax as such, but watch from the side and see, and also it's going to be challenging for him to also be that professional and still be that same character, because he's still going to be much a part of, even though he's going to be a loss on the pitch. He will have to do that as well. So it's a different sort of challenge for him. It's obviously gutting for him, gutting for us as well. And hopefully he will get over that hurdle. Well, no, I know he will get over that hurdle. So, as a group, as a team, as a close bunch that we are, players will get round AP like they did with Shippers and like they did with Tom Bayliss when we missed those players. And also Nursey again. He's well missed. You know, he's a big player for us, and we've missed him for a considerable amount of time. So there's a lot of a few injured players that the team will definitely get round, and he's a part of our team, so we're definitely going to get round him. But I'm sure he will definitely be back and be back stronger.